few appearances, all that we're going to be seeing today. Yeah, it's tough looking down the bay right now with the fog and the low clouds in place, but it is 69 degrees and the dew point is the same, so, well, it's actually 68. So that's why we've got the fog. The wind is very light as well out of the north, 3 miles an hour. Been a few light showers and sprinkles earlier this morning exiting the Cape. That's pretty much done with. You can just see much of the rest of southern New England is on the drier side, although, well, damp, if you will, from the leftover rain from yesterday. We're starting off in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees at this time, and we're going to be heading for the mid and upper 70s this afternoon. But the further west we go, we find much more comfortable air around the Great Lakes region. Temperatures this morning out here barely at 50 degrees in Green Bay, so we're going to be getting into the more comfortable air mass. It's going to take a couple of days to get here, but in the meantime, we're still dealing with this frontal boundary and the effects from it for today. In other words, as a little wave of low pressure goes on by, we'll see an isolated shower or two scattered about. We'll look at that in just a second. The relief comes behind this weather system. That's going to move through with its round of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, and once that goes by, Thursday is setting up to be a gorgeous day. Here's what I'm talking about. A lot of clouds and fog for the first part of the day, but notice we'll get some breaks here and there. And if you happen to be traveling a little more to the west or northwest, notice the sky is a bit clearer out here. There'll be some low clouds around, but at least there'll be more sunshine. Now also, there'll be the pop-up shower as we get into the mid-afternoon. Nothing like what we saw yesterday, be fairly light, but one or two cells could get a little more intense briefly, or even a rumble of thunder that would race on by through the early evening hours. So again, not everybody's going to see it. Overnight tonight, clouds and fog back down into the 60s, another warm, muggy night. And then tomorrow afternoon, watch for more showers and thunderstorms to be developing. First wave coming through for the early afternoon hours. But later in the day, here comes a heavier area from the south, and this will be moving off to the northeast. And again, there could be, again, bringing some very heavy rainfall in a few spots. So we'll be watching for that. But once it all clears by, setting up for a nice Thursday. Let's turn down to the tropics. Here's Lee, the very latest maximum winds, 115 miles an hour, still Category 3. National Hurricane Center projects it to move to the west of Bermuda, staying well away from the island as we go into Thursday afternoon and Thursday night. And then from there, it'll be weakening down to a tropical storm status as it heads towards Nova Scotia. But notice the cone of uncertainty does carry it as close by as the Cape and the islands. This is all on Saturday. The most likely scenario is that it stays in that course and just sends some dangerous surf and rip currents our way, and maybe get some outer rain bands towards the Cape. The overlay of the radar here is one depiction by the European model, not necessarily what's going to happen. Best case scenario, it stays further out at sea and we barely get anything other than the surf from it and the dangerous rip currents. But a worst case, it gets closer to us and we get in some real heavy rain and wind. But again, I think this is the least likely scenario to play out. But what we are certainly going to be dealing with is a lot of the rough surf. The seas offshore could be building as much as 10 to 15 feet as we go from Friday into Saturday with the passage of the storm system. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on this through the course of the entire week. And weather-wise, we're getting much more comfortable, though. Thursday and Friday, we get a break from all this humidity. Temperatures staying in the 70s, and then the sunshine's returning, of course, and of course we'll keep a close eye as to what we can see the resulting weather on Saturday. I think we see some showers coming in towards the Cape perhaps, and a few gusty winds for certain. We could get some winds gusting 35, 40 miles an hour